What is happening, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. In this segment, we are going to go over Alexander Volkanovsky versus the Korean Zombie. Now, this is a fight that might materialize as Max Holloway is out of the third fight against Volkanovsky. Korean Zombie has offered his services, wants to step in. So if it does take place, it's going to go down at UFC 272. Let's get right into this fight. Alright, so starting with the featherweight champion, Alexander Volkanovsky, 33 years old, 5'6", 71-inch reach, well versed in Muay Thai, kickboxing, striking in general, of course, coming out of City Kickboxing. He is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Mixed martial arts record, 23 wins, 1 loss, 11 wins by way of KO, TKO, and 3 submission wins. Volkanovsky just had an amazing all-time great fight with Brian Ortega. That one went 5 rounds at UFC 266. Of course, he defended his featherweight belt in that fight. And just in general, Volkanovsky has been on a tear. Look at his record. Phenomenal champion, fantastic mixed martial artist and fighter. Volkanovsky is very well-rounded, really proficient at striking. He can grapple. He's very tough and durable, high fight IQ, very strong mind, extreme will to win, which I think probably is Volkanovsky's greatest weapon. We definitely saw it at display in the Brian Ortega fight. The man just refused to tap to Brian Ortega. Big fan of Volkanovsky, the guy is a beast. Moving on to Chan Sung Jung, aka the Korean Zombie. Fan favorite, another phenomenal fighter. The Korean Zombie is 34 years old, 5'9", 72-inch reach, well versed in various martial arts. Black belt in Hapkido, black belt in Taekwondo, black belt in Judo, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has a kickboxing background, 15-6, 11 wins via KO, TKO, mixed martial arts record, 17-6. That's 6 knockout wins and 8 submission wins. Very storied career for the Korean Zombie. Impressive wins, impressive resume. He just defeated Dan Ige back in June of 2021. That was via unanimous decision. He has a loss to Brian Ortega prior to that. Then he was on a 2-fight win streak, defeating Frankie Edgar and Hanato Moicano, winning both of those fights via KO, TKO stoppages. Korean Zombie is an amazing martial artist. I personally love his style, the way he flows. His striking is impressive, very fun to watch. He's fluid, he's dangerous, he's explosive, he's fast, very athletic. As good as his striking is, his grappling is pretty much equally impressive. Dangerous standing, dangerous on the mat. One of the reasons Korean Zombie is such a fan favorite, like I touched on, he's just fun to watch. He's highly skilled, of course he can play it safe, but usually rarely does. He likes to engage in battles. He will stand in the pocket and oblige you. KZ goes after it, and his technique is just beautiful to watch. Personally, a fan of Korean Zombie as well. Alright guys, so the matchup. How could this fight possibly play out? Well, I'm going to say I have to go with Alexander Volkanovsky. It's kind of hard to pick against him based off of his previous performances against other opponents. And I know MMA math doesn't really work all the time, but look at Volkanovsky versus Max Holloway, for example. Max Holloway is one of the slickest and best strikers in the UFC, and Volkanovsky usually always giving up height and reach, more than held his own, defeated Max multiple times. And a vast majority of those fights remained on the feet. That's incredibly impressive. Then look at his ground game, his sub defense, his overall grappling. Brian Ortega, when he latches on a sub on you, most likely you're going to tap, especially a guillotine choke. Volkanovsky has excellent submission defense, great awareness on the ground. He's very physically strong and imposing. So with all that being said, to get to the point, I do think that Volkanovsky can handle what Korean Zombie brings on the feet and what he brings on the mat. I don't think KZ would out-grapple Volkanovsky. I don't necessarily think he would outstrike him. Now the thing with Korean Zombie is that he has a very awkward style. It's hard to probably mimic him in the gym and train for him. He's kind of like unpredictable. He flows and moves a certain way. He kind of reminds me of the old school fighter Genki Sudo. I see a lot of similarities in their striking style. So like, make no mistake about it, Korean Zombie could definitely finish Volkanovski standing or on the mat. I just don't think it'll happen. I think Volkanovski is in his prime right now. Pretty much same with Korean Zombie. But Volkanovski's at his peak. He's the champion, really has come into his own. His record is just stellar. The opponents he's defeated and the manner he's defeated them, what he has endured in fights. On the feet, at minimum, it's going to be a pretty equal fight. If I had to guess, I'm going to say that Volkanovski edges Korean Zombie on the feet. And on the mat, I think Volkanovski would neutralize what Korean Zombie does. I mean, I see a solid decision win for Alexander Volkanovski, or even possibly a finish. And that's not taken away from Korean Zombie. He is a phenomenal fighter, very worthy opponent, but I don't think he's going to bring anything that Volkanovski hasn't seen or dealt with before. So final prediction for this fight, definitely going with Alexander Volkanovski. And I think with KZ being so durable, I'm going to say via decision. I think it would be competitive. I think it would mostly be on the feet. And I think Volkanovski will get the edge in the stand-up based off of his high fight IQ, his ability to find holes in somebody's striking game, as he did with Max Holloway in the low kicks. Volkanovski has really underrated striking. Coming from that city kickboxing group, he is certainly well prepared and versed in striking to deal with whatever KZ brings. But we'll see. It's a crazy sport. Anything can happen. Maybe Korean Zombie goes in there, proves me and others wrong. We'll see what happens if these guys do compete against each other. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section who takes this fight and why. Honestly, I would love to see this fight. I hope it happens. If this is your first time at the channel, hit that subscribe button, like and share. Appreciate that, guys, and I'll catch you all on the next segment.